Hi, it's Nell, and you know how I love bromeliads, and I've done lots of posts on bromeliads, but today I'm going to be specifically talking about how I water my bromeliads indoors, because I've gotten a few questions from people regarding this topic, and I thought I'd do a video on it for you. And I just wanted to let you know that I have been posting on Saturdays, as you know, probably, and I will now be posting on Tuesdays instead. And if there is a second video in the same week, it'll be posted on Thursday. But look for the Tuesday ones now. So bromeliads are really easy to maintain. I grew them outdoors in my garden in Santa Barbara. I grow them indoors now in Tucson. I also grew them indoors in New York City when I lived there, and also in San Francisco. So I've had quite a bit of experience with watering them. And one thing that is good to know is that they would rather be on the dry side than on the wet side, because they are epiphytes just like orchids are. So we are going to pretend this is my kitchen, because I don't have a lot of fancy lights to get the lighting just right. So I'm working outside where I like to be anyway. So we're going to pretend this is a sink and this is a faucet, or the sprayer, or whichever you use. So this is the planting medium here. This just happens to be moss. Bromeliads, all the ones I've seen either come planted in moss or bark, or sometimes there's a combination. And bromeliads aren't very deep rooted. They're actually shallow rooted, and they get the majority of the moisture comes through the leaves and in this cup part here, but they do take some up through the roots. So about once a month or so, depending on how hot and dry you are, you just want to give this a watering, and you let the water run through, and poof, that's all done for a while. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona, which is sunny and warm. It happens to be the end of January. I think it's like 78 degrees today. And so I water mine. Now I probably water them every five weeks, and in the summer I do water them a little bit more because it's brighter and it's hotter. I water them probably every 3 weeks. So I've been meaning to do this, which doesn't have all that much to do with this beyond the video, and I've done a separate post on this, is take this flower off. Just like that, there. And that looks a little bit better than the dead flower. And you can also better see the urn or the vase or the cup that way. So someone asked me a question about the mold inside the tank or the cup or the urn. I'm just going to call it the urn, you know, for now. And what's that caused by is the water not being changed in the urn, and it builds up and it gets a lot of bacteria in it. So what I do is every month, with fresh, clean water, I just flush it out. Just get that water out of there. Oops. I knew that I was going to make a big mess. Oh dear. Oh dear, it's the very end of the day. It's time for the comedy show. Of course, if you're in your sink or your tub, you can just let it flow all over, just like I'm doing, and it's will be a lot less messy than the mess. So of course, when these are growing in their natural environments, the rain washes out all the bacteria and the gunk inside. So you might want to stick your bromeliad out in the rain in the warmer months. That'll really get it nice and cleaned out. But as long as I'm already making a mess, I'm just going to do it on this one, because this Neregelia definitely had some stuff in it. I think I changed it 3 weeks ago. So I want to get in here and get this good and flushed out. And if you have a lot of salts and minerals in your water, it's going to build up in here. So you'll want to actually use either rainwater or distilled water in here. One more, as long as I'm flooding my driveway out. Ooh. And you can see on this one is, I've had this for like a year and a half. The other one, and you know, the Guzmania I only had for like 3 or 4 months. But you can see how nice and gorgeous these big pups are. Beautiful. And so that's fine. It doesn't matter if you get your leaves wet too on your bromeliad, because they like that. Well, I guess my table needed a good cleaning anyway. It was outside. It was a good thing it wasn't inside. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about the water too is that I always do it at room temperature. I don't do it cold. And I don't use cold water, and I don't use hot water either. Sort of the temperature of a summer rain. So here's a close up on that cup, urn, vase, tank, whatever you prefer to call it. It's what collects and stores the water for the plant in nature. And I keep mine just a little bit. There's just a little bit of water in there now, as you can see. That's what I do in the winter. It's probably about 2 spoonfuls. And in the warmer summer months, I keep the cup about a quarter full, because believe me, it does get warm and dry here in the Arizona desert. And sometimes I just spray the inside of the cup a little bit, just to get a little bit of moisture in there. And no matter what the season is, I do let the cup go dry before I put any water in again, sometimes for 2 days and sometimes for up to 7 days. My bromeliads grow under a skylight, so they get nice bright overhead light. But if you are in a lower light situation, or if you have cool temps, then you will definitely want to keep this cup dry or almost dry, because it can cause your bromeliad to rot out. And because this is the 3rd video I've filmed and it's the end of the day, I've probably forgotten to say something. So be sure and check the blog post, because as I'm writing it, I will put any information in there that I have forgotten on how I water my bromeliads. And by the way, I love this watering can. It holds, I think, half a gallon. And I have a small watering can and a big one, but this is just a nice in-between size for houseplants. And it's made from recycled materials, and it's also made in the USA. I love the kind of groovy, sleek pattern of it, or design of it. And I got it on Amazon. So if I can find the link, I will leave it in the blog post for you, in case you want a great watering can for your houseplants. We have a whole bromeliads category on our blog, so be sure to go and check that out, because you'll find a lot of posts there waiting for you if you're interested in some more info on bromeliads. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have found this video to be helpful. I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes. I appreciate them. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so be sure and come back and check those out. Now let's get out in the garden or into our indoor gardens and make our worlds a more beautiful place. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.